the last thing said. Welcome back to another Friday, another episode of the Cyber Queens. This is going to be a special short little mini episode. We don't have a full topic for you. And we are obviously missing Amber this week. Little Miss Amber is taking care of holiday events for her company, Evotech. So all the good luck to them. And so we are all three of us, the queens, are ramping up for a heavy week of appearances and travel this coming week. And most notably, we're going to be headed to the SANS DMAs. And for those of you who don't know, it stands for the Difference Makers Awards. And I just became aware of these last year, and I thought it would be really cool to do a little spotlight on what the DMAs are, why they matter, how they make a difference, and why you should be working for one. And for the love of God, why you should be nominating more people for one, because we were astounded at the limited number of nominees there were. So that's today's topic. It's going to be very, very short. And hi, Mustafa, nice to see you in the comments again. So to get right into it, so the Difference Makers Awards, they are hosted by the SANS Institute. Number one sponsor this year is Hacker Valley Media, and that's very exciting to see, paired in conjunction with CISO-XC. So I didn't...
Can you explain what SANS is for people who don't know, Meryl?
Absolutely. Great point. So SANS Institute is one of the leading cyber skills training institutes in the country, I think in the world. They pair closely with the GIC certifications, and they are the ones that you'll often hear us talk about cost a lot of money, but are usually very well worth it. I personally don't have any SANS certifications because I personally can't afford one yet, but phenomenal training, phenomenal instructors, pretty much they're kind of known for being the most elite of the elite. The people they have teaching their courses are the top Gucci Beyoncés of their fields. So SANS out there doing great work. And the Difference Makers Awards is such a special initiative they put on. So first of all, when did you first hear about the Difference Makers and what did you know about them?
Honestly, I heard about them last year when Amber's book, The Little Cyber Engineer, got nominated, and when you told me about them because of Cyber Queens.
Okay. So last year, I was not on the awards game at all. I wasn't nominating people for awards. I didn't know what the award cycles were. I didn't know what award options there were. I became aware of all these things. And I know that my friends Chris Cochran and Ron Eddings attended last year. And I was like, this looks like a swanky event, man. What are the Difference Makers Awards? SANS is a sponsor. This is crazy. I had no idea what it was. And this year, the Cyber Queens are nominated and we are finalists. We thank you all so much.
Thank you.
You, our listeners, make our lives. And they have several categories. So they have like Ally of the Year, Podcast or Live Stream of the Year, Book of the Year. And that's not necessarily something like Little Cyber Engineer. We've got technical books nominated as well, such as the one by Chris Hughes, who is my boss, on blockchain vulnerabilities. So it's just really highlighting practitioners. It's not based on the biggest following, which is one of the things I love about these awards.
I think they even have like influencer, like cybersecurity influencer of the year, or like somebody who's like
educator of the year. We really should look at these categories.
I nominated somebody as the I think it was DE&I advocate of the year. I'll tell you, I nominate George Kamid for diversity advocate of the year because he is just always out there doing great things. Bare Knuckles, Brass Tacks, George Kamid, we love you. I don't know who is the finalist for that one, but they have all different types of things. You don't have to be like a Meryl or like, some practitioner. You could just be a diversity advocate or executive.
Yeah. Yeah, so they've got Community Champion or Influencer of the Year, Diversity Champion of the Year, Innovator of the Year, Mentor of the Year, Open Source Tool or Creator of the Year. So again, all these unsung people like creating all these things that we use and that we sing about on LinkedIn. But like, who gets an award for making a tool? Almost nobody. They also have, Rising Stars and honoring those newbies. Team or Leader of the Year, which I love because, everyone's so want to go tell people about their bad managers, but so few people brag on their great leaders and their great managers. And I love knowing who those leaders are so that if I ever need a job one day, I can go right to them and say, yes. I hear you're an excellent leader. Thank you. Then they also have Team or Practitioner of the Year. And now I love this one because you might be someone who is, again, one of those great locker room teammates, or you might be someone who's like the superstar of your team. But if your team collectively does great work, some of the people nominated are like the Proofpoint research team. So the whole research team, right, contributing to the industry. So it's not about how big of a following these people have. It's not about, the highlights on LinkedIn. It's about the actual contributions they make to help further cyber. And I just love that. I think that's phenomenal. If you haven't checked them out, sorry to cut you off. If you haven't checked them out, go do it.
Well, one thing that I like about this setup that they're doing, I'm going to kind of put it from my perspective. So salespeople in an organization always get accolades and awards for top rep or, biggest deal. And then you have all of your people in operations in the day-to-day that never get recognized, and they don't really get awards, and companies are very good at doing that. But I feel like this really takes people that are day in and day out doing, the good things and not necessarily getting the recognition that they always should. SANS has done a really good job, in my opinion, of calling out some of those other people that you wouldn't see in the forefront, like the CEOs of the world.
Yeah, I agree. And I think, sometimes your impact is a small trickle, but it makes a big difference over a period of time. And so they have like the Lifetime Achievement Award too. It's just a great. And so a lot of you saw us probably announcing our nomination and our finalist status and soliciting you for votes, right? We asked you to come out and vote for us, which if you did, we so sincerely appreciate you. But you're saying it's not about followers, it's not about popularity, but you solicited for votes. So how do they make it fair? How do we avoid that? Do you want to tell them or do you want me to tell them? Do you want to tell them?
No, you got it.
So there is a popular vote, yes, but they took a little bit of like a mixing the electoral college and the popular vote kind of thing. So what they do is they have their advisory committee, right? Their panel of judges, and there's the popular vote. So the judges select their award winner for that category, and then there is the popular vote award winner in that category. So if you do have a large following, if you have been rewarded by having a very engaged audience and people who love you and would vote for you, you're rewarded. You're rewarded for that work and making those milestones, because it is a big deal to have a big following. But if you're not, and you're still doing good work, and again, it's evaluated by actual practitioners, by people who understand what it's like to be in these trenches and work in these fields, there is a judges award as well, which is obviously based on merit. So, you could win the popular vote, you could win the judges vote. There's 2 winners in each category every year. And I think that's just phenomenal.
That is phenomenal, because sometimes it's not a one size fits all. I'm not saying that you're not popular and the judge's choice, but I really like how they separate it, because popular vote is
a big deal.
It's a big deal, especially in cyber. We were up against somebody like Philip Wiley, his podcast, and to see our, the Cyber Queens next to his podcast, we were nominated for Podcast of the Year or Live Event of the Year, and to see Philip Wiley's name on there, he's somebody that I'm kind of like fangirling over, and I get to finally meet him. I just thought that was so cool that, the podcast that we started just a year ago, a year and a half ago, is up next to somebody that huge. And if you don't know who Philip Wiley is, I suggest you go follow him and check him out. He's amazing. And there were other finalists, but to see that was so cool. And it's like this little podcast that came out of nowhere up against this big podcast, and super smart guy. So it was really cool.
If you don't know Phil Wiley, he's first of all a phenomenal human being. And he's also this little celebrity who wrote this little book called The Pen Tester Blueprint, which is literally like a career blueprint on how to become a pen tester. So great book, great resource. I recommend it to everybody. Sometimes I tell people I know him who know about the book. They're like, no, you don't. I'm like, yes, I do. Anyway, we love you. But yeah, I'm honored just to be up there with him. I'm like, our little project made it up there with the guy who started his 3rd podcast. Like he's had so many podcasts in the past. So it's just cool to see. It's just cool to be a part of it. We're just excited to go to the party. Honestly, I'm going to wear glitter. It's going to be great. So
yeah, it's a gala. So we get to be all like Cinderella-ish, I guess.
I think at Cyber, we don't get enough opportunities to really peacock like that, like people walk around black hat and a ball gown, but like, it's fun. It's fun to do.
Hey, you walked around DEF CON in a pink suit, not last year, the year before.
Did do that though.
You did.
I did wear pink because it's Vegas. Where else are you gonna wear a hot pink suit? You got to do it in Vegas. I'm obviously not a fan of pink. I hate pink.
Not at all. Can't tell.
Pink is the new everything. One other really cool aspect of these awards that we did want to touch on, and this is still going to be a short episode, is that how SANS furthers the impact that these awards have is every year they select 4 to 5 charitable organizations, which the winners of these awards don't get an honorarium. They don't get a cash payment. They instead have the opportunity to take the amount of their honorarium and donate it to one of these charities. So all these charities are going to get money in the door this year in one way or another, which is so cool. And we are super thrilled to announce that also the little charity you haven't heard much from this year, but the little charity that we started as well, is one of the 4 featured charities. We started it with Amber. Amber, obviously, I wish we had her here because she's our fearless CEO. But I love that they highlight, charitable orgs within cyber, and they're not just picking the big ones, right? They're not just picking WOSEC and WISIS, although we love them and they do great work. They're picking some of the smaller homegrown ones that are, again, making a big impact. So we're going to review those for you now and tell you all about them, because if you haven't heard of these orgs, they are phenomenal. And I'm happy to be in this company too. I'm so proud that Teach Kids Tech made it in company with like Raices mental health hackers. So do you want to introduce the first one? You want to talk about Raices?
Yes, actually. So I'm going to read it verbatim, the description, because I do not want to misstate
we don't
anything
want to
that
muck
they
that
say.
We copied it from their website, so we hope it's accurate.
Yeah, and it's RAICES. So that stands for Refugee and Immigrant Center for Education and Legal Services. They are a nonprofit agency that primarily focuses on providing free and low-cost legal services to understand immigrant children, families, and refugees. They are dedicated to promoting justice and advocating for the rights of those groups. RAICES has earned a good reputation for its work, as reflected in its 88% score from Charity Navigator, highlighting its effectiveness and trustworthiness in financial health, governance, practice, and policies.
I love that for them.
I love that for them as well, but that's actually not right, because RAICES Cyber is the Hispanic Latino organization. So that description was wrong.
Oh, cool.
Hold on. Okay.
Correct.
RAICES. Okay, no. RAICES
Cyber. Is it RAICES Cyber?
It's cyber, yeah. Okay.
Nice.
Scratch that description and erase that all from your minds.
I would say maybe they have other services I'm not aware of. I wasn't aware they do all these extra things. I thought they were more closely linked to like Latinas in cyber, but you know.
Well, okay. So what RAICES Cyber actually does is the Hispanic, Latino, Latina, Latinx, and their allies association in cybersecurity. So they are, supporting the Hispanic culture. That's why when I was reading it, I was like, wait, that doesn't sound right, because I know Eric Bilardo, the founder, amazing guy. They just had their first conference, I think, this past year in October.
RAICES Con. Yeah.
RAICES Con. So check that out next year. But their mission is to empower, encourage, and support Hispanic, Latino, Latina, and Latinx individuals and communities to achieve greater representation in the cyber workforce through education, mentorship, and advocacy by providing accessible resources, training, and mentorship and awareness on the importance of cybersecurity in the modern digital world. Don't quote me on this, but I believe there is only within tech, it might be within cyber, but 3% of our cyber is Hispanic, Latinx, Latina. So this is a great organization. They really reach out past just, the word minority group. They really support the Hispanic and Latin community. Check them out. They have chapters all over the country. I know Denver has a chapter. Mm-hmm. It's pretty much anywhere. And if you don't know where to find them, the website is here, but reach out to us. I'd be happy to introduce you to, whoever I can link you up with. But they're an organization who started out small and they have exploded, and they are doing great things for the Latin and Hispanic community. So again, delete the first description that I read, because that's
my fault. That I was saying. I was like, I didn't know RAICES stood for something. I didn't know they did all this other stuff too. Like, I thought it was just an expansion of services. Totally my fault. Totally my fault.
We're gonna get a message from somebody from RAICES like, oh my gosh.
Their founder, Eric Bilardo. He is one of our first champions when we first started Cyber Queens, and we love him. He's a phenomenal individual, and he's gonna be like, what the hell, ladies?
Great org.
Like, you know what? That was ended my burnout. I'm gonna blame that. But it's true. They have chapters: Colorado, California, Wisconsin, New York, Utah, Rhode Island, Texas, Washington, Arizona, even one in Canada. They got one in Canada. So if you are someone who needs their services, founded by great individuals. What I love about them is you see them everywhere. No matter how big or small the con, there's always a RAICES table, which is so wonderful because it gives people a community, right? It gives people an instant place where they can go and instantly find people like them, people that they identify with, and kind of have a little tribe. So
well, I also want to add that if you want to get involved and you're not Hispanic or Latino, they will not turn you away.
Oh no.
They love anybody that wants to get involved. You can join, I don't want to speak on their behalf, but don't be shy just because it's, Latino, Hispanic. Reach out to them. I'm sure, want to expand to more chapters in the United States.
Yeah, as with any charity, they could always use support. They could always use volunteers. They could always use the visibility and, of course, the donation dollars. So there you go. Yes, so the next one, so that was number 1. Number 2, they want to feature, and I'm a particularly big fan of this organization, so I am really excited, the Mental Health Hackers. I love the Mental Health Hackers. They are another one, again, that you see everywhere, no matter how big or small the Hacker Con. If it's at Way West Hack and Fest, if it's at DEF CON, if it's no matter where it is, they are there. And the Mental Health Hackers is a 501c3 org created and run by cybersecurity professionals, so by actual practitioners familiar with the mental health issues that we face in our industry. And the Cyber Queens have talked a lot about that lately, burnout, imposter syndrome, depression, being overworked, people leaving the industry, people too afraid to get into the industry. There's a lot of mental health issues specifically that we all experience because of the type of work that we do and the cadence that we run. And they are always there with, sensory activities, Zen zones, people you can just talk to if you're going through it with the job hunt, if you're going through it with some instance at work or something, or you're just going through it because life is freaking hard and the conference schedule is even harder. They're there for you. They're the warmest, nicest people I have ever met at a hacker conference.
I love that. And people are always afraid of hackers. So there's a reason not to be afraid. Do you want me to take the next one? I mean, Teach Kids Tech. What can I say?
Yeah, what could you not say about Teach Kids Tech? So one more thing. So mental health hackers are there. They usually have a wellness village. So if you're wondering where to find them, you can't find them by name. They're at Wellness Village. They are at, Support Village, things like that. Feel Good Boxes program. And they are trying to bring more awareness and support to mental health issues in our industry. So definitely go check them out. All right, take it away.
I actually didn't know that about mental health hackers. So thank you for that overview.
Yeah. See, we're all learning something today.
We are. What can I say about Teach Kids Tech? It was founded by our co-host, Amber. She is the founder and CEO. I was brought on after that as a co-founder and CRO, and then Meryl is the COO. And for those of you who don't know who Teach Kids Tech is, or you're about to find out. So we are a registered 501c3 nonprofit org with the mission to provide children in those underserved communities with access to technological literature, supplies, and educational opportunities. So think about when COVID hit and kids had to go to school at home. A lot of kids didn't even have internet or even laptops, and the schools had to scramble to, get those for those kids. We view technology as a human right and work towards making it fun, comprehensive, and accessible for every child because it is a human right for everyone, regardless of their background. Our org conducts, engaging work. Yeah, sorry, I can't talk today. Let me take that again. We conduct engaging workshops and boot camps for children ages 2 to 20. So no child left behind there. And it's led by industry experts and everybody is a volunteer. So that's amazing. We provide technology focused literature as well as access to free training and materials and course curriculum for school and for home. So it's not just one focus where you just learn it at school and then you can't transfer it at home to home. So our efforts are dedicated to bridging the technology gap. Like I said, 2020 was very detrimental for a lot of kids around the country. I know here in the rural areas in Colorado, there was some struggles there. And to close that gap in the underserved communities to ensure that every child has the tools and knowledge and encourage innovation and creativity for a better future. So teachkidstech.net. Check us out there because there is another organization with a similar name. So we are .net. We can link it for you in the post show notes.
That's a great
and
idea.
We're obviously, biased for Teach Kids Tech. And the fact that we were listed as one of the charities was just great news all around.
Yeah, big accomplishment for us. We're super proud. I didn't put Mental Health Hackers website up, so I will do that. There's the Teach Kids Tech URL if you're interested. Yeah, the goal with this was really just technology for every child, right? Technology is such a crucial part of what we do professionally. You need it in high school. Like I remember, I had to make a PowerPoint presentation in middle school, but God, I haven't been in middle school for like 2 decades. So they're probably doing it in like 3rd or 4th grade now. So, like my kids do half of their schoolwork on a tablet.
Yep.
Yeah. And
We didn't have that.
Yeah, So it's just the thing where like not every child has access to technology they'll need. They're not building these skills. They're required to succeed in the workforce. We don't want them to get pigeonholed into those less successful roles or roles that they want in life that they can't have because they lack these skills. So
well, and not only that, a lot of the kids that are coming as asylum seekers and refugees, they have never even seen a tablet or they don't know what a computer is. So we are aiming to offer workshops, to just even basically show you what a computer is or what Wi-Fi is. So no child left behind.
No child left behind. Yeah. That's not our org. That's a different org. But, and I do get this question a lot. The number one question I get is, this is a little fun, like side project you girls have, but is it an actual charity? I'm like, yes. As Erica said, we are a 501c3. You can find us. We weren't available on Charity Navigator there for a hot minute. I hope that's been fixed, but we are a registered 501c3. We are being governed and filed transparency reports, and the IRS is all up our yin yang and everything. So I promise we're doing all the things real charities do. If you're interested in getting involved, now you know how. So why did that comment not come back down? There we go. Great. Okay. Last but certainly not least, particularly excited for this one, women in technology. And women in technology is so close to my heart, and it's going to be close to Erica's heart because so WIT, Women in Technology, different than WISIS, is dedicated to advancing women in the technological field from the classroom to the boardroom. So they offer a range of benefits. They have formal mentoring programs, formal educational and training programs, multiple networking opportunities. They have over 1,000 members, so really robust membership if you want to be a part of something bigger. They organize events like panels, presentations, webinars, social gatherings, all these things. But most specifically and special to me, they have a single mothers program, which offers an actual cybersecurity certificate to the women who complete this program if they are interested in getting STEAM-related education and thus employment. And I love that. I think they also do have a grant avenue. So they will offer program grants to nonprofits who serve girls in STEAM. And what's so great is they're not just focused on adults. They have programs for everyone from middle school through high school through college to that, like, because, single mothers could be at any age at anywhere.
Yep.
But they have their own campus. They have multiple programs. So if you see Yo Pros, if you see WIT Girls, if you see WIT Campus, those are all affiliated with the same organization. And I just think it's really nice and attentive of them to have addressed a specific demographic who needs the extra support.
I love that.
And I'm going to drop their link here too, because I have not been on my link game today.
It's okay. I mean, you can't always be like doing 800 things at once, Meryl. Jeez.
Also, I don't know if you guys know this about me. It probably isn't evident because I travel a lot for conferences because you see me everywhere, but I am petrified of air travel. So I'm mentally psyching myself up for that already.
We know. I knew that because you drive a lot of places and I'm like, you're crazy driving.
Why are you driving? Because I would rather not. Okay. So there's women in technology, and let me grab mental health hackers since I neglected to throw them up when we actually talked about them. So in conclusion, SANS Difference Makers Awards, out there making a difference, out there highlighting those who make a difference. Anyone stands a chance to be nominated for one of these. Again, don't feel like I don't qualify because I don't have X thousand amount of followers. It's not what it's about. If you're doing the good work, if you're making the contributions, if you can nominate yourself, but if you don't want to, if you're petrified, DM one of us or DM an ally and say, hey, if you think my project is worthy, I'd love a nomination. We do that for each other. I have people come to me and ask me for nominations, and I'm always happy to submit one because sometimes we don't think of those things on your behalf. You have to advocate. But I would love for them to be so overloaded with nominations next year, they have to expand the categories or something. That would be phenomenal.
Yes.
So
yes. And if there's something that you want a nomination for, like she said, come to us, and it might be something that we have not heard of because there's all these organizations out there. Some are popping up, some just exist and we don't know about them. Ask us and we're happy to help. And I do want to say hi to Patrick. It's nice to see you on here, Patrick. Patrick Gorman.
Hi, Patrick. Have a good
He's a good
Friday.
dude.
But yeah, so thank you so much for sticking around with us today to learn a little bit about the DMAs and their charitable orgs and the impact that they're making. I love all the people affiliated. I hope so many of these people show up. I'm so excited to hang out with a lot of these people in the same room.
Yeah.
Second time in the year that the Cyber Queens will all be in one room, and I don't know if it'll ever happen again. So if you want to hang out with us, get there.
Yes.
We
Yes.
hope to see you there.
And I do also want to say hi to Melissa Sanford. I know you're out there, even though it doesn't show your name, but I know you're there. We love you.
We love you. We love all of you. We love all of our listeners. We just want to say again, thank you so much. If you did vote for us, if you nominated us, your love and support, we do this for you, the listeners, and the listeners are the things that make us successful. So we appreciate you. We love it when you hang out with us every Friday. We do this for you guys. So we hope to see you there. If you're there, please track us down. Tackle me in the hallway. Shout my name.
They have a virtual option too.
They have a virtual option too. Yes, if you just want to see the outcome of the awards, it does happen right up against the SANS Defense Summit. So there's actually a SANS one-day summit that day as well. Same location. Yeah. So we hope to see you there.
Yeah, come say hi. Track us down. You won't be able to miss us.
Please, we love it. We love meeting you guys. So please do it. All right. This has been another mini episode of the Cyber Queens. We hope you have a great weekend. We hope to see you next week in DC, and love and success.
Thank you.
Bye. Nope, I didn't have the graphic ready. I didn't have it ready.
Okay, we're live still, right?
Yeah.